guys, and welcome to the Get a Life podcast. I'm your host, Bish, and I'm joined by the two lovely people, Joe.
Hi, I'm sick.
And Kevin.
Hey, sup guys? Hoping you're having a good time.
You know, I've noticed that Kevin always says sup guys, and for some reason, Joe
Sup
always...
guys? Team Arn here. I'm too lazy to think of like an original
I was going to say,
intro
for some
every time,
reason, Joe always says, I'm sick, like all the time. Like, it's just...
Because I'm always dead inside.
Oh, Joe, I feel sorry for you.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Joe,
Well, no,
this
like,
is bad,
I
man.
was... Okay, so, some context. I don't know why, but ever since I drank that, like, whole bottle during Suzaku Normal Mode in Final Fantasy 14,
You drank a what?
I was drinking on Friday.
Wait, drinking what?
Yeah, but like what? Like, you know,
Pepsi?
fucking
Or like...
Budweiser or like, you know,
11%
vodka? Or are you
wine.
drinking iced tea?
I drank a whole bottle of wine.
Damn, Joe. Joe, man, wine fucks you up, though. I'm not gonna lie. Wine does fuck you.
You drank a whole bottle of wine by yourself?
Yeah, like I was like, you know what? I really want to do some of the new content in Final Fantasy 14 since the new patch dropped, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do the new content while I'm drunk.
Joe, you
So-
sound like a Connecticut mum. That's what you sound like.
I'm sorry.
You sound like a mum from Connecticut. Like, that's what it sounds like.
What does that mean?
So, Bish,
I don't know.
you have a lot of experience with Connecticut mums, eh?
That's what it is, eh?
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Come on.
Ever since then, my nose has just been running like nonstop.
So that's don't drink, kids. That's the moral of the story. Don't drink.
No,
Alright,
drunk
Dad.
gaming is amazing. Trust me.
Yeah, that's one piece of housekeeping. And submit to us some fanfics because Joe, I'm
Oh
sorry.
dear God, please don't.
This is
Please don't.
this is another form of housekeeping, let's say. Joe, did you know that Tyson, he doesn't want you to be director of fanfic?
I don't think anybody does. You know, he can keep that title. All right.
I mean, I don't know if he wants. I mean, I don't blame him because, to be honest, I'd make some pretty twisted shit
Well,
if I was a
Joe,
director of
I
fanfics.
still think you should be director of fanfics. But I had this discussion with Tyson. I said, Tyson, this is like basically one for all, right? How it's passed down.
All right.
Oh my God.
One for all. Director of fanfic. You know, director of fanfics is like one for all, and you have to pass it down. It has to be passed willingly. And
It's like 2 narrative quirks, 3 artistic quirks, 5 length quirks.
that's basically what it is. But the thing is, Tyson wants to give it to Kevin, out of all people. And I'm like, no, Kevin should not get director of fanfics. This
What's
is
wrong with him?
This is what upsets me. But because he...
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay,
I should
no
not get that
no
shit,
offense,
dude.
but I don't see Kevin having that level of creativity.
Oh.
Oh, you shut your whore mouth. What the fuck, dude? Nah.
I mean, so you're saying you want to take that title?
I don't doubt that you can come up with, you know, more fucked up fanfics than I do, because, you know, I've never actually written one. But, you know, if you want it, Joe, don't let your dreams be dreams. Go for it, dude.
Don't let your
Go for
dreams
it.
be memes.
All right, now that we're done, I think, with that huge tangent, can we get around to the actual topic of the episode now?
This is the actual talk, Kevin. This is 100% relevant.
This is, yeah, man. Yeah, Kevin. Fuck you. No, but seriously, today we're going to be talking about our childhood games, what games we grew up with, how we kind of got into gaming and things like that. But before we get into that, Kevin.
For new folks, Get a Life Podcast is a monthly gaming discussion podcast under the Get a Life group. And we talk about all sorts of games, from big AAA titles all the way down to awesome little indie games, but our forte is mainly Japanese games, so expect a lot of that. It can be found on iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And if you want to join in on the fun, then follow us on Twitter at Get a Life Podcast. And if you like what we do here on GALP, then spread the word, spread the love. We'd really appreciate it.
Let's talk about the game. Before we get started into our main discussion topic, what games have we been playing recently? I want to start with Joe.
I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 3 recently.
Oh shit, is that because of Tyson?
No,
Okay.
I was watching Vinesauce play through Metal Gear Solid 2, and like I saw the first game because I didn't have ways to play the other games, so I just kind of watched them. Like I watched people play it
Okay.
because you can pretty much watch it without having to play it. It's very story heavy. But I saw the first one a while back, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see what 2 story is like. So I watched Vinny play through it, and then like I really liked it. So I'm like, you know what? Like like I was looking at like, oh, what do you play next after Metal Gear Solid 2, and like there were a bunch of other games. There's like 3, there's Peace Walker, so like Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and I think Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. It's just a lot to follow. So I saw that 3 was the next one. I heard 3 is a classic among like a ton of people. So like, you know what, I'll give that a try. So I bought it on my Vita. I bought the HD version. It was on sale, so it was a good deal. And I'm enjoying it so far. Like, I mean, I'm still in the beginning phases, but it's a very interesting take on the combat. It's supposed to take place like chronologically before 1, when Snake is still a member of Foxhound.
Okay.
And the gameplay is a little like different. Like, it still has the stealth aspects and the like combat, but you also there's also a bit of a focus on survival and blending in with your environment. So it's very fun.
You know, I've never played a Metal Gear game, Metal Gear
Yeah,
Solid
same.
game. I don't know. I was never into it.
I don't know. I find it's like One Piece. You know, it's just so big and shit that you don't know
It's
where
not
the hell
that
to start.
big. It's honestly not
Because
too bad
the
going
story
through
is
it.
like fucking. It's just complicated,
You
right? If
know-
you ask someone like, "Hey, what's the rundown of the MGS story?" Right? They're gonna be like, "Sit down."
It's the reason people say that is because of Genius Kojumbo and his way of plot.
Jumbo. But I think Kevin does have a point. It is kind of like One Piece in the sense, like I do kind of get that kind of. It's not fatigue, but it's like.
Or not like, you know, One Piece, because at least One Piece is like linear. I mean, talking about like, I think a more apt comparison would be like, you know, superhero comics. You know, it's like,
No, but
the fuck do you even
yeah,
fucking
but that's
start,
true. But
right?
I feel the same way. Like, there's some games that I don't want to start because I feel like there's too much time
Yeah,
investment.
it's just overwhelming.
It's
yeah,
like, for example, that's the main reason I haven't played Kingdom Hearts yet, because it's like, I don't want to get too invested in it. Do you see what I mean? I just want a game to like switch off my brain and play, and I want to lead that into the game that I've been playing recently.
Honestly, Kingdom Hearts is very simple to understand at face value. It's when you're like, hey, like you want to look deeper into it, then that's when it's like okay, Nomura, like what were you like on acid when you were trying to make the story?
But I'm not doubting that, Joe. I'm just saying it's the sheer amount of time to play 2 games and then side games by the time.
Well, I mean, that's why I watched it
comes
as a
out.
movie. Like I didn't play the first and second game. I just watched them. Like, I could like do like some kind of work while I just watch them, because again, I don't have the time to play anything, like to play those games either. But I can just play it in the background and like multitask. You know what I mean?
Okay. So because it is a story-driven game, you have that opportunity to do that. Okay. I was thinking,
wasn't it like MGS4 or something? Had like, was it like 4 or 5 hours of cutscenes or something ridiculous like
Jesus
that?
Christ.
I mean, the Metal Gear
Super long
Solid series
cutscenes.
is just known to be one big movie because they're mostly cutscenes.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. Right? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
like
only
damn
that-
if they aren't beautifully animated cutscenes though. Like, god.
I mean,
damn.
they're very impactful cutscenes. Even if it's less of the gameplay and more of like the story, it's still so very like solid series. No pun intended. Like it's like, so I can just multitask and I can like do work. I can maybe draw. I can do some writing for a bit. Like I can just and then pay attention to the story. It's kind of the joy of it. But anyway, Kevin, what have you been playing recently? That I'm curious about you, and Bish as well.
I think I'm gonna pass it to Bish really, because Bish was, I don't know, I think you kind of cock-blocked him because he was like, I'm gonna segue into my own game now. He just kind of like went on to Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, Kevin, let's talk about you.
No, but I just want to comment on Metal Gear Solid first, because
Okay.
like all the fans that I know, right? Like I've never met like a casual fan of Metal Gear Solid that's like, yeah, I mean it's a nice series, but you know I don't really play it too much. They're all like, you know, addict.
It's the kind of game that makes you think really hard about things, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I know that's into it is like really into it, right? And because of that, all I know, like, I don't really know what the fuck the story is, right? Which is one of the reasons why I don't want to start it, because you know you'd have to watch like the first 2 games and play through the third, and I can get the fourth, I guess, but like you can't really. I don't feel like I can get a satisfying experience if I were to jump in and like MGS5, right? So
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Like, it's more of a story-driven game. So
yeah, exactly.
doing it out of order just doesn't really making.
And either way, like I've
persons.
spoiled myself for the end of MGS5, so like whatever. But the only thing I know are like memes from it. Like I don't like, what is it?
What do we
No.
got to do but to
War
was it?
Has changed, you know, like. Although that cutscene is pretty
Well,
fucking.
first of all,
badass,
War
so-
never changes his Fallout, Bish.
That wasn't me that said
Yeah,
that.
that's
what,
Fallout.
What was the one that what's his name said? The one that's in
Solid Snake.
the-
Snake.
It's the one the PewDiePie
Solid
one.
Snake.
It was like, oh my what was it? He's talking about his limbs or something. He's like, why we know
Well,
this
first
one?
of all, that
But
isn't
to suffer.
PewDiePie. That's not.
What's-
That's not PewDiePie. That's straight up in the trailer for Metal Gear
I
Survive.
know, but PewDiePie just memes the shit out
I
of
thought you were
it.
gonna stop talking about PewDiePie, Bish.
When PewDiePie notices me, because I met him once, and I want to meet him again. I'm sorry.
This is like the 5th time you've said that you've met you.
PewDiePie, fuck me.
Say something original.
I
My
like his
God.
content. His content's unoriginal, and I'm doing the same. Great minds think alike. Yeah, what was I gonna say again? Yeah, my game, the game that I want to fucking talk about.
The game is fun.
I'm-
If it isn't fun, why bother?
Do you know what game is also fun?
Yeah.
And this is another segue. Fucking Spider-Man.
Oh, you got it,
Dude,
Okay.
I pre-ordered 2 copies of that game. I don't know why. I gave one to my friend, and it was his birthday.
You didn't give it.
recently.
You didn't give it to me.
No,
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
sorry.
Come on.
I printed out the Greg Miller edition. You know the naked. Was
I
it?
have no idea what that is.
You know Greg Miller.
I
from-
love Greg Miller.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the character in the Spider-Man universe.
No.
Who the fuck is Greg Miller?
Greg Miller. You
You
don't.
talk about like Greg Miller.
He used to be a part of IGN, and now
he's
he,
kind of
uh,
funny, right?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
kind of funny.
If you've seen his video where he's like shirtless, and he wanted shirtless Spider-Man to be in the game as a character, and he's in the game. They've noticed
What?
him. Yes, shirtless Spider-Man is in the game. No, I'm not going to spoil, but there is shirtless Spider-Man in the game. If you find it, it's going to make you really happy. He was recently in London, and he was on the fucking train, the train that I take every day, as shirtless Spider-Man on the fucking train, and I was
oh my god!
I was dying.
Wait, for ad material?
No, he was there. He was there for RTX, Rooster Teeth Expo London.
Oh, Greg Miller. Okay. I thought you were talking about like
No,
Spider-Man
no,
adverts.
no.
with
Imagine
Spider-Man
that. It's
trailer. Wait,
official
what?
Sony Spider-Man adverts. But no, man. Oh my god, the game. That's the best. I'll tell you, the best. £60. The reason I'm saying 60 is because I actually bought. I bought the DLC even after playing the game. The game is short, but so good, so good, so nostalgic. I kind of want to jump into that. It kind of has a point related to my childhood games as well, but. Oh my god, the nostalgia factor, the swinging through, the fact that Yuri Lowenthal is in the game as fucking Spider-Man, and his wife is Yuri Watanabe, which is really awesome in the game. I'm not sure if you comic book nerds know who Yuri Watanabe is. There's all sorts of characters. You got the
I
Sinister
only know who
Six.
Ken Watanabe is. I don't know who Yuri Watanabe is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do not know where I.
Yuri Watanabe is a police commissioner in Spider-Man, in the Spider-Man universe.
Oh, okay.
But dude, I ship them so much. I ship them so much in the game. But they're married, and you can see I don't know. You can see the chemistry between the characters.
Notice
in
how
real
you
life,
talk more about this ship than you have about the game itself.
It's so good. It's so good. The game is so good. Like, you can use the photo mode to take realistic fucking pictures, and it's just like I've seen people posting their pictures on Twitter, and I'm like, wow, this looks like real life. And there's so many different nods to the different Marvel universes, right? There's Luke
When
Cage.
Spider-Man's open world is bigger than your own life.
That's what it is, but it's not that big. The map is not as big as older Spider-Man games, but it's just so cool.
Oh, okay.
I've
Like-
seen some footage of it, and their rendition of New York is amazing.
It's amazing. It's a bit inaccurate in terms of certain things that are supposed to be in Central Park, but then they remove them and put them in different places, like certain landmarks. But I'm not gonna fret on that because really I'm not gonna care about it. I really don't care. But it's so fun. Imagine like jumping off the Empire State Building. So fun. I know it sounds fucking weird, but I mean, as Spider-Man, and then you just diving, and then you do a swing at the last moment. You don't take full damage in the game, so it doesn't really make a difference if you jump from the top or not. But you get that rush of energy playing the game, and I'm like, oh my god, this game doesn't get old. I've 100% in the game, but it doesn't get old. I still want to play. I'm waiting for New Game Plus.
Wait, you've got all trophies and shit?
Not all the trophies, but I mean, 100% in terms of main story missions. I've done some side missions.
Okay.
I still have to do some other stuff to get 100% in terms of achievements.
Do you think you'll go for 100% for the whole game?
100%, yeah, definitely, Joe. And especially now, I'm locked into the season pass. I've already bought the DLC, which is a really good.
Oh, so they have more DLC in the future.
Well, it's not a season pass per se, but I bought the 3 DLC packs. City That Never Sleeps. So you get 1 DLC pack in October, 1 in November, 1 December, and I think they're going to use that to tie into the new Sony Pictures movie, the
Venom movie?
No, not the Venom movie, the Into the Spider-Verse animated film with Miles Morales. Because I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but Miles is in the game, and it's very interesting.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that they're using that to tie in. There's going to be new costumes. Oh my god, the costumes are amazing. Like, you can play as they're all the same Peter Parker, right? But you can play in different costumes, and these costumes have different suit mods. And like, for example, if you choose the Iron Spider suit from Avengers, you can get those spider arms that come out of his back.
Oh shit! Okay.
But you can attach that to any suit. So if you want to use a suit mod with a different suit, you can. It doesn't stop you from using that particular suit mod or that particular suit power with a thing. So,
you know, I've really wanted to get this game, but because it reminds me a lot of Spider-Man 2.
yeah, for PS2. Oh my god, we're gonna get into that.
Because I love the web slinging. Because I love the web slinging in that game.
It's so
I remember
fun.
having a lot of fun just kind of going on top of buildings and jumping.
I think that's what was really cool about it, and even looking at the landmarks in the game, like, as you guys know, studied architecture, right? So New York and its architecture was always something that we were kind of that was ingrained in us, and seeing the High Line, and I think that's amazed me the most because spoilers. Well, not really spoilers, but Dr. Octopus is in the game, and you work for him, right, as Peter Parker. And
well, I mean, isn't that canon though? Like, well, just in the universe?
It was canon in the universe, so I'm not really spoiling anything. I'm not talking about the twist, but his office, his laboratory, is outside of the High Line. So as soon as you leave his lab, you see the High Line, and it's so beautiful, especially at sunset. And I'm like, wow, this game is beautiful. Like, there are times.
I have one question for you, Bish.
Okay, yeah. What's the question?
So when you walk out the door, do you immediately hear the pizza theme from Spider-Man 2?
No, I don't. But
is there no pizza theme in the game?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Joe. But the music, that's another thing. The music, it swells in such a way when you're web slinging, and you're like, whoa, you feel powerful. You feel the power of Spider-Man playing the game. It's just so it's weird, and I understand why the game is so popular. Like, it's just. And if you're one of those people that are like, oh, fuck you, you play Spider-Man, you're a baby, whatever. Someone actually said that to me. I'm like, fuck you, man. Spider-Man's a good game. It's a great game. Okay, anyway. And the attention to detail in that game. Like, even I saw this tweet from one of the costume designers. And someone zoomed in on Spider-Man's Spider-Punk costume with the shoes. And they zoomed in on the sole of the shoe. And then the designer for the costume commented on it, and he was like, yeah, man, I spent so much fucking time on those shoes. And I was like, damn, they're focusing on details that you might not even see. It's
that's Insomniac for you.
It's crazy. I didn't even know that such a thing exists, and or I've never seen that level of detail in a PS4 game. Just to say that.
Really?
Yeah, even if you're going through like Empire State, or if you're going through a random building in the game, you can look through the houses. You can look through someone's apartment. It's creepy, but I mean, you can.
Are there actually NPCs and shit in there doing stuff?
I haven't.
Is it just...
I think they're just empty apartments with like little Easter eggs and stuff. But it's interesting.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen an NPC there as of yet. But there's so many. Like, the NPCs are very different as well. Like, I saw at one point, an NPC that was wearing a headscarf. I was like, wow. I've never seen that in a game at all. First of all, and then you see different types of NPCs. You see people with short people, tall people. Like, when there's some games where you just feel like, oh, this is the same NPC again and again and again. This game doesn't have that. I'm not sure if it's something that just generates them randomly. I'm not sure, but it's really nice. The attention to detail in the game is mamma mia. It's amazing.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. Oh yeah, mamma mia. Another game I have just got into playing actually is
Kevin continues to get cock-block the episode.
I'm sorry, Kevin. What was the game that we got sent, Joe? I forgot the name of it. 428. Was it 428?
I think it was like 28. I have it in my shelf. Just give me a minute.
It's right next to me. Oh wait. Shibuya Scramble. It's
It was like some like 28 Shibuya Scramble or something, or 48.
428 Shibuya Scramble or 482
Yeah.
Shibuya Scramble, something like that.
Expect a review on the site sometime soon.
Yeah, we're gonna review it. Thanks to Name for sending the game to us. He actually reached out to me, and he listens to the podcast. So if you're listening, thank you. We'll do a review soon enough. Kevin,
I'm really excited. I heard a lot of good things about this game.
same. You know, before I want to get onto it, the game is actually one of the only games to get a perfect score on Famitsu. That's crazy.
I mean, even then, I'm still kind of skeptical because like Famitsu is usually like cumulative.
That's true.
So like it could be like a mix of a number of scores. I don't know, but
Yeah, but to get a perfect score, that means multiple people give it a perfect score. Anyway.
that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, Kevin, I'm sorry. Continue, Kevin.
That's fine, dude. I mean, I haven't been playing much myself recently, just because school
Because
sucks.
Kevin has
but-
no taste.
Huh?
It's because Kevin has no taste.
Oh wow. Oof. That's rough,
The
buddy.
spicy memes.
Spicy memes.
meatball.
But that aside, I don't know. I've been playing some more Breath of the Wild, but also I got a bit into Tales of Berseria because last month, August, because it was August.
Oh yeah, it was part of Humble Monthly.
Humble Monthly, yeah. I got Tales of Berseria and I dabbled a little bit into Sniper Elite V4. So yeah, those are a treat. Like, I mean, Sniper Elite V4 is so fucking satisfying, right? Because I've been dying for a decent third-person shooter because I haven't played one in a while. Like, I mean, the last one I played, I think, was like, let's see, Mass Effect 3, and 2 rather, and then I dabbled a bit into Spec Ops: The Line. Fucking great game, by the way. You guys should totally try it out. But man, the ball shots, man. The ball shots in Sniper Elite V4. So fucking satisfying.
Is that the game that not zooms in, but I mean like slow motion?
You get like the slow-mo, yeah. Like the action shot. Yep.
That must be very satisfying to shoot someone in the balls. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think so? Do you see it like burst? Like,
Yeah. You
what?
like the whole 9 yards.
Dude, that's so cool.
I don't want to hear anything about bursting.
It's dude. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's pretty nice. But also Tales of Berseria. It's my first game in the series, and it is fucking great. I've been kind of dying for a good action RPG. I mean, I'm still working Breath of the Wild, obviously, right? And that's amazing as well. But I don't know, it gets tedious, when you try to grind down a game, the same one for like, I think it's been, I got my Switch in May, so it's been what, 4 months now since I've been playing Breath of the Wild. Still haven't finished it, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big game. It's basically Nintendo Skyrim. .tm.
basically, yeah. And I'm still trying to 100% it without fucking cheats, so it's taken a while. And those fucking Korok seeds, man, oh my god.
Yeah, you have
They're
900
everywhere.
to go through.
Yeah.
But if you buy the DLC, you get a Korok mask that
I
helps
did
you
get
with
the DLC,
everything.
but like, I don't know, it was kind of a mistake on my part because I added a shit ton of missions that I'm still going through. Like I got.
Did you
what
at
is
least
it,
get the cycle? Did you get the master cycle?
Oh no, not yet. No, because the quest for that shit is pretty fucking hard, and I'm not like I
It's
don't
not
have
that
anywhere
bad.
near enough
You
hearts.
just gotta get good.
Oh wow, talking trash.
Freaking, I got it on my first try, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'll be saving that for the end when after I get the 4 divine beasts. Right now I'm trying to go through the side missions before I complete any more divine beasts. Right, I don't want to rush through it, especially because a lot of the loot in the season pass isn't so great for the late game, or so I've been told. Right, so I'm just trying to get through it
Yeah.
in the mid game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, Rainbow Six Siege had a new patch, which is pretty awesome.
I should play Rainbow Six Siege again.
Yeah, I played a bit with Tyson and showed him the basics, but yeah, not too much. But that's what I've been up to recently.
Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
I like how you said it. The meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes. Let's get
Just like Mum used to make it.
just like me mum used to
Just
make
like
it.
Mom used to make it.
Why do you guys make fun of me? All right, Kevin. I don't understand why you do this to me because
You were fucking making fun of me.
You brought it onto yourself.
bud.
let's talk about the meat and no, you guys, man, you guys are bullies, especially you, Joe. Like, what the hell, man?
The hell did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fucking talk. You're from New Jersey,
Yeah.
then.
You from New Jersey?
Sorry.
New Jersey.
Hey, I live in North Jersey. I'm basically New York.
No,
Or at least that's what everyone tells you.
No, I don't think New Yorkers will agree with what you're saying. I don't see. Wait, quick question. I don't see North Jersey in Spider-Man PS4. Okay, so you're not New York. Just saying. Just
I'm just kidding. No, it's funny because you hear so many people around here like to say that they're basically New York because they live so close to it. It's actually really funny. But I don't have that. I don't have that like New Jersey accent.
New Jersey. Yay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing we have over you guys though. We can make some damn good pizza.
Yeah, no, I can't deny that. Can't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, you eat fucking Domino's, bitch. So like,
Yeah, we make our own pizza.
You know
we don't
what?
even rely
You
on
know,
Domino's.
The amount of times that I'm
what the fuck do you mean we, man? It's not like you make your own fucking pizza at home and sell that shit in the street.
Maybe
Joe.
you
Hey,
does.
my dad runs a business. I help in a pizzeria.
That's true. Spider-Man.
Oh shit! I didn't. You never told us that.
He did. You
Bring it.
haven't been listening, Kevin. He told us. He was like, "I'm going to work, guys." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." But
Yeah, but I never knew you worked in a pizzeria. You know, like.
he said it to us.
It's a pizzeria. I have that
Oh, okay.
experience, dude. I have the right to say everything I want, dude.
Yeah. He's
Okay, maybe I just completely forgot. My bad, Joe.
And this, this adds to the whole meme that Joe is Italian. Joe, you're.
I'm a pyramid Italian.
That's it,
Oh,
man.
hang on. So you're Coptic and Italian?
No, he's not. He's not
I'm
Italian.
a pyramid Italian.
Yeah. Okay. It's because like that's the thing. I was like,
That doesn't exist, at least from what I know.
yeah, no, that's the thing. No, like I was so confused for a second.
No,
I was
but
like,
No,
how are
you know
Coptic and
when I
Italian?
saw
What the fuck?
Joe when I spoke to Joe for the first time, I assumed he was Italian. I don't know why. The name, did I not tell you that? I just assumed you were Italian. I was like, oh,
Giovanni.
hey, Jersey, hey.
Okay. Anyways, enough with the racist stereotypes. Let's get on with the
Oh, sorry.
actual conversation.
Sorry. Instead of I mean sorry, Kevin. But actually, into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. Nostalgia. What do you guys think of? Okay, I want to know how you guys got into gaming, and I want to start with Kevin because I heard your story to a particular degree, but I want to know: is there more to it than the whole Nintendo story that the Wii? Was the Wii your first console? Was there a console before
I mean,
that?
I think that's when I really got into it. But like, if you want to go way back, I think the first game I can remember playing doesn't really count because it was like it was Pushmo. I don't know if you guys know what Pushmo is, but it was
I
like,
love Pushmo.
yeah, there you go, Pushmo, and you're fucking like, what was it? I think it
Pushmo
was,
was
on
so
the
cute.
Nokias, right? And I would just I'd always play Pushmo everywhere. My mom's phone, yeah.
It's a
So
really
that was
good
like
game.
my first game, right?
It's a really solid 3DS game.
For-
Everyone
for-
should
for-
play it.
Yeah, but this is like the old version of Pushmo, right? So for those of you who don't know, if I remember correctly, it's basically like, have you guys ever played, was it Rush Hour or Traffic Jam, whatever it's called? Like that board game where you have to like fucking unblock cars and shit. It's basically the same concept. You're this little thing, right? This creature, and you have to push blocks and shit out of the way.
Wait. So you're
to get out of a maze.
So you're basically describing the game.
What? That's Pushmo though.
No, there was a game.
Yeah, it's Pushmo.
No, there was a game that was made by Atlas. What was it called? Catherine. You're basically describing Catherine, right?
Oh wait, shit, Catherine is. Oh, I guess I gotta play Catherine now. God damn. Okay.
Because
Catherine's a really good
Catherine's
game.
got that kind of. I don't know if it's a mini game, but it's got that kind of aesthetic to it.
It has. Well, I mean, it's very similar. It's like you're moving blocks in order to get to the top. Like it's rather than getting to the objective,
it's
you
2D
better.
though, right?
Oh, is it? Wait, so I'm gonna post it in GALP noises. Wrong link, but just you'll find it. Is it that Pushmo?
Because when I typed in Pushmo, I was looking at this 3DS game.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. It's like I don't remember. Like the only Pushmo I remember is when it released on the 3DS. It has the same. It's exactly how you described it too. It's like you push in pull blocks in order to get to the top.
Okay,
to your goal.
maybe it's not that then. But I don't know. I just saw the name Pushmo, but it's not quite that.
So is the game similar?
Similar to Pushmo, yeah. It just made me think of Pushmo is all. It was this random ass like fucking game that you had on like Nokias and shit. If I remember
Oh,
correctly.
okay.
So.
Okay.
When was the moment where you would say I'm a gamer now? Like what started that revolution?
Honestly, it's not a home console. I think I started with my just a bunch of Game Boys, right? Because I mean, growing up, my sister and my older cousins, right? They're like 90s kids, right? So they all grew up with like Game Boy Colors and shit, right? And once the SPs and shit came out, I got like hand-me-downs of the colors and all that, right? So they had a shit ton of Game Boy games. So I think I really started on the Game Boy, right? With shit like Pokemon Gold and stuff, right? I remember deleting my sister's save on Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, my younger sister
she was
that all the time.
Yeah, and she wasn't happy because she had like this, I think it was like level 100 Rayquaza, right? That she caught with a Pokeball. So yeah, she was not impressed.
Do you think she still
Right.
remembers it to this day? She's like, fuck you.
No, she still remembers it. And I also once lost her Game Boy Advance and her entire collection of games when I was like 6.
Oh my
So
god.
she still
You're a
remembers
horrible
that too.
person, Kevin.
Kevin.
I was 6, okay?
No,
I didn't
that's
know.
not an excuse,
I
Kevin.
didn't know.
You know, you should make it up to her. When you get a job, you should buy her a Nintendo Switch. Make it up.
Maybe I will.
Make
Who
it up
knows?
to your sister. Kevin's sister, if you're listening, this is a promise. Now
But
you
yeah.
have to do it, Kevin.
I really started with not just Pokemon though, but like I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind. You know, Emerald and Gold, right? But also Zelda, man. I think it's A Link to the Past is my OG Zelda game, and it's also why I think A Link to the Past has got to be. It's up there. It's probably my favorite Zelda game.
Have you played A Link
I mean,
Between Worlds?
I played A Link Between Worlds briefly, but not too much of it. No.
It was a lot of fun. I felt like it was a little. It was easier than A Link to the Past.
People are
but-
saying it's like one of the best games in recent memory, right? But I think A Link to the Past is one of the reasons why I kind of have a bias or a soft spot for 2D Zelda games. I know a lot of people are on the whole Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess train, right? They really like the.
You forgot about my boy
freedom.
Majora's Mask.
What about my boy Skyward Sword?
See, no,
That
Kevin,
never
no, Bish is totally right. Skyward Sword was a good game. Like real talk, I loved the aesthetic. I loved the story.
I prefer
It
Twilight Princess, honestly. I don't feel like there was much that Skyward Sword offered that Twilight Princess didn't do better. To be completely real with you, it was a bit.
I mean, in terms of
I don't know.
gameplay, I think I'd have to say like I really did like I really like Twilight Princess more, but
Yeah.
like I mean
yeah,
the story
same
was
here.
really good too. But there's something about Skyward Sword is felt
And there's also like
very,
Midna. Come on, like.
Yeah, but you also have Zelda and Skyward Sword, and she's like bae. Like real talk. You also had freaking Girahim in Skyward Sword. He was amazing.
I mean, Skyward Sword wasn't bad. It's just, I don't know. It was not a worthy successor to Twilight Princess, in my
I
opinion.
mean, it felt like a good anniversary game in my eyes, honestly, because it's kind of like the beginning of the Zelda series chronologically.
yeah. But just gameplay wise, I was kind of, I don't know. It left me wanting more. You know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
So I will say the
Um,
one-to-one motion controls were kind of impressive.
Yeah. But I mean, 2D Zelda, I think is. I mean, until I played, what was it, Twilight Princess? Honestly, I wasn't too big on the like Ocarina of Time and stuff. I knew a lot of people loved it and all that, right? But I just found that there's something about the simplicity of the combat and the puzzles, especially in the 2D Zeldas, that just I don't know. You can't replicate that in 3D. Although, I mean, until recently, right? I've always been in the mind that 2D was better than 3D Zelda, but Breath of the Wild is fucking amazing in terms of, exploration and stuff, right? Not quite
Oh,
there
yeah.
in terms of dungeons, right? But the combat, oh my god, is fucking amazing.
It is molto bene.
Yeah. But other than that, man, what other games did I have on my sister's Game Boy Advance before I lost all of them? There was like F-Zero, Mario Kart on Game Boy, which I
Mario
still
Kart
to
Super
this
Circuit?
day I cannot play Super Circuit. I don't know why. I just feel. I mean,
It's
all
so
right.
floaty. That's the problem. It
Yeah,
feels
it's
like
the
very
controls
floaty.
feel so. It's like you when you try to steer, right? It just like it just does 90-degree turns and shit. No.
That's because there's
On a
no
whim.
what's it called? Proper thumb pad.
No, it's not just the matter of controls. It was the physics. It was the
It was
physics
just
of it.
the physics of the game, because I remember loving. I mean, I'm kind of going a bit further, not further back in time, but a bit later on, right? I got my DS, and I remember fucking playing the shit out of Mario Kart DS, right? That was like everyone's fucking.
Oh, I
dream. Like, it was
loved Mario
for
Kart
school
DS.
trips and shit, right? You
Oh,
have,
yeah.
like Picto Chat, and after you all get into
Oh yeah,
Mario
dude,
Kart
that
DS,
was like the life.
and like Nintendo, if you're listening, please bring back download play. That was so fucking good, and I just
I mean,
wish
we still
that
have we still have download play. We just don't have it as much now.
No, it's in the new Mario Kart for 3DS. It's in there.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward for it like on the Switch.
Oh, you want it
probably
on
never
the, you
happened,
want it on
you
the
know,
Switch? That would be very interesting.
Yeah, but it's
Isn't
just
that
like
a feature of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe though?
have download play.
Well, I mean, not like download play, but to have they just have like cross like platform play, like have the play with other Switches.
I'm not sure, but I don't know. It just, man, download play was the source of so many fucking good memories. It's like just whenever you'd have a field trip, right, or whenever you'd go to over a friend's house, right, it was just like you boot up download play, and everyone who whether or not you actually have the game, right, you just race each other, right.
Yeah, I'd say that was a
So-
very good like thing about the DS is that you could just connect with somebody who didn't have the game, and
Yeah.
you basically let them like play the whole game through like a connection. It was great.
Yeah, just like fucking Shy Guy's the best, right?
Yeah,
But-
the problem is that you were restricted a lot with download play with like what you could choose, which is a shame. But I mean, wasn't a huge deal.
At least you got to play, right? You can't. Say
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
about
mean,
any of
that's
the
really all that
new
matters.
games
May I
nowadays.
interject? Like, PS4 now has the share play option, right? Where you can actually physically let someone play the game that you're playing.
Well, it's something completely different.
It's
though.
something
like,
different,
That's
but
not
I
mean,
like.
Isn't SharePlay like they take over for you? You can't
no, they can take
We're-
they
we're-
take over for you. They don't own the game. They don't download the game.
Yeah,
right?
they take.
But it's
but
interesting.
It's not the same,
No, I think it's the same. Like especially when I'm playing Spider-Man. Like before one of my friends got it, I was like, look,
It is something
play it.
similar. Like it's like you connect with somebody and then you can play their game from another PS4, like over the internet.
Even watching someone else play as your. I know this is the whole Twitch generation or whatever, but I mean like, it's so in a private weird way where someone is actually in your PS4 and you're just. They're watching you play and you're in party chat and you're like, hey, look at me fighting this boss, and like it actually happened to me in thing, and it was so fun, and I had like 3-4 people watching and I was like, oh, it's so cool. I have to, do you know what I mean? But maybe it's not the same thing, but I feel that it's a variation of that. I think it's today's generation of
Yeah. You don't have to be at your your bud's place to have couch co-op.
yeah, basically, yeah.
But man, other than that, I mean, that's really the beginning. I won't get too much into my DS days, right? Because, man, there was so much to be said there. But I don't know what, got you into gaming, Joe.
1 second.
Oh.
I dropped all my Game Boy games.
I thought it was actually something serious, and then
Okay, Bish, let me put this into perspective. Put this into perspective, Bish. I have 24 Game Boy games just sitting in a case,
Joe,
and they all just fell.
I'll tell you.
That's not a lot.
I'll tell you something.
Honestly, I mean,
Can I jump into what games that I kind of got started with?
Yeah, go
Sure,
ahead
Gramps,
while I
go
pick all
ahead.
this stuff up.
tell us about Atari on stone
Shut
tablets,
the
please.
fuck up, okay? Tell me about Pong, all right? No, fuck you. My first console.
Pong was fucking great. You shut your whore
I'm
mouth.
sorry, Kevin, but the first console that we owned that was actually the first console we owned was a Sega Mega, but we were too young when it came out. And I said the story before we broke it, R.I.P. But the first console that we actually got was a PlayStation 2. And we got it, I think, either on release or a couple of days before release. My dad got it for us, and we had 3 games on launch. We had Rayman, we had Gran Turismo 3, I think, and we had Dynasty Warriors 2. Rayman was the shittest game. Like, I think as 6-year-olds, we didn't know how the fuck to play the game. So we returned Rayman, and we got another game called SSX, right?
I heard SXS was. I heard that was good.
No, SSX. Double SX.
Oh, SSX.
Yeah, such a
Oh,
good game.
yeah.
It's a snowboarding game, but it's what kind of attracted me and I think everyone to the PS2 more so than the Wii, because we also owned the Wii further along in the line, was the fact that the PS2 was the first kind of introduction to gaming for us. All the games that we played, they weren't necessarily single player games. Dynasty Warriors was cooperative play, Gran Turismo was competitive in the sense that you would be able to race against each other using split screen, and the same with SSX, but more so SSX because everyone got involved. You know, dad was playing it, mum was playing it, sisters was playing it. Everyone was like, oh, okay, the person who wins gets to stay on for the next match. Like, we got it on like that. And it was really fun because it was a game that everyone could get into. It was a game that had so much character. It wasn't the best game graphically at the time, but it was something that was amazing because we couldn't go out and snowboard, but we saw these tricks and we're like, whoa, I want to do that in real life. And oh, I want to play as Mac. He's from the USA. And it's like we got to experience multiple cultures as well, because even back then, you know, when you went to school, unfortunately, we were the only children that were from a different culture, right? The rest of them were your standard English people. So we didn't really get that kind of experience of different cultures. We saw the community around us. So the game kind of introduced us to new cultures. You know, we found out about Japanese people existed. You know, I know it sounds really weird, but for a child, sometimes you just get stuck in your bubble. Do you see what I mean? I found out that America was a thing because of SSX. You know, Germany, there was a German character. There was a Canadian. There was actually a lot of Canadian.
So it taught you something.
It taught me something.
By the end of it.
Now I'm thinking about it. It did teach me something, right? Because there was all these different cultures, and it was so cool. You had an Australian snowboarder. I was like, how the fuck does that work? Australia doesn't have snow, but
okay.
It was weird. There was a lot of French characters, obviously, because the Alps. You had a Swiss character. You had German characters. You had a lot of Canadians. And, you know, you even had one British guy, Moby. Oi, oi! What a fucking lad! He was,
Okay.
No. You're looking at a winner, baby. That was his main line. When you pick him, he was like, oh, you're looking at a winner, baby. Oi, Moby. Like, he was the fucking amazing, best character. One of my favorites. And what kind of got me into that game even more was the fact that you had a character that you can relate to. Every character was relatable in some way. You had your favorite characters. Some characters were better for tricks. Some characters were better for, you know, racing. And it was just the amount of customization in that game. Even the first generation of it, the original SSX, like, you can change your boards out. You can change your costumes. And to unlock certain costumes, you have to do certain tricks on certain stages. It opened my mind up to a lot more. Like, the whole Easter egg culture and finding out new things. And the level design in that game was fucking crazy. And then when it got onto the second game, SSX2, oh my god, even more. You had more crazy characters. You had characters who was literally convicted criminals snowboarding. And
what was the story of this game?
It was a snowboarding game, and then it's kind of like these guys, they snowboard, and then they want to win this cup. You know, it's like the story of everything. Like, I don't know how to.
Every fucking sports game
like,
ever.
Yeah, every sports game, every sports anime ever. Like, oh, they want to win. It's like basically free. No, I'm joking. But it was very interesting. The story really wasn't appealing. I'll be honest with you. It was more the level design and the fact that the characters were so awesome and they were so intriguing. Like, each level was set in a different country. So you had levels like Tokyo Megaplex, right? This kind of firework to go off as you do tricks, and you see these little fat sumos in the sky, like blimps of sumos, right? And you had this character called Kaori. That was her stage, right? So when you're playing the game, sometimes you have these interactions pre-game, depending on which character you're playing as, and then they'll come and talk to you, and they'll chat shit to each other. They'll like shit talk each other. They're like, oh, fuck you. They wouldn't swear because it was a kid's game, but I mean, they would like have this kind of small talk between each other. And to this day, like when I was playing, I never understood what Kaori would say because she would just speak Japanese the whole time. That's all she did. She spoke Japanese the whole fucking.
No subtitles.
And I was like, what is she saying? Like, I didn't really understand.
Aww.
And you had other characters, Spanish characters as well, who they didn't have subtitles either, and it was just like, what are these guys actually fucking swearing? At this point, I'm thinking they are. But even the American characters, the way that they dig on each other, I'm like, oh my god, this game. Even Moby, my guy from the UK. But yeah, anyway, the game was just so good, and when they introduced the second game, they introduced more crazy characters, Uber tricks, which were these unique tricks that only certain characters can do. Like, there was this one character called Eddie. He has an afro. And basically, his Uber trick was him doing the worm on his snowboard in the air. How is this fucking possible? It's these crazy things. Or there was tricks like walking the dog. That was Mac's main trick. Or Simon, who's from Canada, the convict. He'd have this trick called the guillotine, where he would use his snowboard and then just throw it around his neck like a boomerang and shit. And I was like,
right.
Type it in. It's some really cool shit. Like,
okay. I'm searching this right now. Like, freaking, let me look at this.
The game was called SSX Tricky, but the first game didn't have all of that. SSX Tricky built upon that, and they were adding more. So they had the old tracks, and then they were adding new tracks. They had this metro track, which was basically you're going through the city. I think like an American city.
Oh, this is an EA. This is an EA.
This
franchise.
is an EA game, and EA fucking killed it. So I'm sorry, EA. Why did you kill this game? I'm sorry. And to this game,
that's sad.
The original developers were EA Sports Big. So when you play it, I'm not sure if you guys remember EA Sports Big. It was EA Sports Big. You get that every time you'd open it.
I remember EA Sports, but not EA Sports Big.
EA Sports Big, they were the one that did FIFA Street, and they did SSX, and it was a Canadian studio. And
so were they like a group that kind of specialized in more of like more fictional forms of sports?
Basically, yeah. So any game that was deemed too edgy, any sports game that was edgy, they would make it. And they closed the studio down when they made the more recent SSX game, which was called SSX. Originally it was called SSX.
It's just called SSX.
Yeah, it originally was called SSX Deadly Descents, and then they renamed it to SSX 2012. Well, now it's known as that. But when that game came out, they axed that studio. They shut it down, and then they decided to create a new studio. I'm not sure. I'm guessing.
It seemed like it got good reviews though.
It was a great.
I mean,
look, I'll tell you what.
80% is not bad.
I'll tell you what killed the game. You know what killed the game? The fact that, and this is going back to the nostalgia. The online multiplayer was non-existent until a year later. Before in that game, you would be racing against ghosts, and that's not fun. You want to real life race someone.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was there was no co-op, and then no DLC. The DLC that they were saying, they were like, oh, we're going to include the old tracks, because the way Deadly Descents worked, that game was on the PS3 and Xbox 360. The way that game worked was that you were traveling around the world. So these were real places. So you would go Mount Fuji, Mount Kilimanjaro, and you'd be doing these kind of things. And it was a great game. I can't deny that. But it was missing the SSX craziness. It was missing that crazy factor and the nostalgia. Right? So mainly what it was missing was that the game didn't have that multiplayer, didn't have co-op. A lot of people were upset about it. And they said, okay, we're going to bring back the old tracks. And they kind of did with Mount Eddie, which was a track which was inspired by SSX Tricky, but it wasn't really the old tracks. And then before they were going to introduce the old tracks, EA just stopped supporting the game. I believe they shut down the servers at this point, and it's a bit unfortunate. I don't think SSX is going to be revived by EA, mainly because this whole EA bullshit.
Do they still have the rights to it?
They own the rights. Like I
mean, do they still have it?
They still do. It's an original IP from them. So it's like it's a game that they published in house. So it's something they're not going to give up. And if I wanted to see this game continue, I would like to see the people that made the game Steep and the Shaun White snowboarding franchise, Ubisoft. I really want to see Ubisoft take on SSX.
Ubisoft would do a good job with
that. That would never happen though. Like if it's EA, they're never gonna fucking.
They're not going to, and it's unfortunate because I want to see. I either want to see EA do something with it, or it's weird because I know if they do something nowadays, it's just gonna be the stupid microtransaction bullshit. I'll be honest with you. But
so you're afraid of like modernization?
No, it's not necessarily modernization. I'm afraid of bullshit from EA.
Loot boxes don't have to, go hand in hand with loot boxes.
Well, let me rephrase that. Let me be a little more specific, like EA modernization.
Yeah, okay. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of them bastarding the game that I once loved, and I've spent so much hours into the lore and the game itself. So even then, like, I'm waiting for EA to re-release the games at least on PSN so I can play the old fucking games. I can't. And remember, these games were printed on blue discs for the PS2 or the black discs on PS2. These discs would damage so fucking easily. It's so difficult to find a copy of the game that works.
Oh, I remember those. Oh my god, I have so many blue discs.
And I don't want to mod my PS2 just to play this game again. And I don't want to like download the game ISO and run it off an emulator because it's not gonna really work well off an emulator. I'll be honest with you. I want to see, but this is something where I really want to see. I'm not sure if you guys heard about the PlayStation Classic, which is basically like the NES Mini or the Sony.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that if this PlayStation Classic thing kicks off, I'm hoping they do the same with the PS2.
A PS2 Classic would be phenomenal.
I would love
buy
such
that
a
in a
thing,
heartbeat.
and I'm pretty sure that's what Sony might be doing because
Preferably with Ape Escape 2 and 3. Well, I mean, I played 3, but preferably with Ape Escape 3 because friggin' Ape Escape 3 is like the last good game they've ever made for the Ape Escape series.
Especially considering that Sony's production isn't as, let's be honest, bullshit as Nintendo's, right? Because Nintendo is like limiting the amount of NES classics and shit that they were gonna make, right? If Sony plays their cards right, man.
In their defense, they ended up releasing Star Fox 2, which is honestly unexpected, as considering that it was like never meant to release.
True, but just, I mean, the PS2 was like the gaming console, right? I mean, even though I really love my GameCube, and I have to thank Xbox for, Halo and stuff, but PS2, let's be real, was the console of its generation.
It is.
Everyone fucking had it. Everybody
was
and their
awesome.
dog had
it was a generation that. Did you know that the PS2 stopped selling new consoles in 2012 in Japan? That blew my fucking mind.
It's kind of funny though, because I never played on the PS2. I always had a GameCube. I always played on GameCube, so I kind of missed out on all the great PS2 games, and that's why, like,
mainly because there was some great first-party titles, but at the same time there was those games like SSX, and this is going back to something that I want to say.
And SpongeBob Revenge of the Flying Dutchman.
Oh my god,
Ratchet and Clank
no.
as well. Let's not forget about Ratchet and Clank and God of War, and these games, like, they were.
Ape Escape.
And I've never played Ape Escape, but
Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper, and what's it called, Crash Bandicoot, and not just Crash, Spyro. All of these, I know these were PS1 titles, but they got a Prince of Persia as well. Like, these games were like, these were solid titles on the PlayStation 2, and even like games like Persona, they were born on the PlayStation 2. Do you know what I mean? Persona became popular on the PlayStation 2 as opposed to the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 2 is such a console. It's a console that holds such meaning to me, and I feel,
and to a lot of people.
To a lot of people out there, and I feel like without the PlayStation 2, I wouldn't be the gamer that I am today. Like, I don't even play it anymore, but it's in my room. It's on display because I'm so proud of it. As a console, I'm proud of that PS2, right? I know there's a lot of people out there that they're gamers since, the Atari, or they used to play on Commodore 64 or the old, the PCs, right? From back in the day. But I feel like the PS2 to me is like my favorite console. It's the love that I have for it, the jankiness of it, right? The fact that it's this big hulky monster of a console. I don't know, and it was ahead of its time as well. The fact that you can plug in a hard drive and shit, that's cool. Like, it was only for the Final Fantasy game that was released on there, and it had a modem, and there were some games that had net play, which kind of paved the way for PSN. But it's, I don't know. To me, the PS2, there were so many titles on there. Like Dynasty Warriors was cool. Gran Turismo as well. That was a good game to this day. I feel like...
I remember playing a lot of Need for Speed games on the PS2.
Oh my god, I forgot about Need for Speed. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Like Need for Speed Underground, Underground 2. Dude. I loved Underground 2, dude. That was awesome. That was like that was my racing game of like everything.
But you know what I loved about the PS2 the most? The fact that it didn't necessarily have online multiplayer, but it focused a lot on co-op play and competitive co-op as well. Split screen. And I find that this generation specifically is kind of removing a lot of that. It's either full-on multiplayer or full-on single-player, and it's unfortunate. Even now, like when I was playing Dynasty Warriors 9, RIP, that game was shit. Dynasty Warriors 9 doesn't have the co-op play. It doesn't have the co-op play that Dynasty Warriors 8 had, and that's what me and my sister used to play Dynasty Warriors all the time because it was a co-op game. So it meant a lot to me, and the fact that they removed it, it shows that this is what this generation is. This generation is... it doesn't care for co-op games, and I feel that a lot of people still want that co-op game, and they still... Do you see what I mean? Like, I think that's what the appeal of the Switch is for me. I know I'm in a tangent now, but the appeal of the Switch for me is the fact that I can play Mario Kart with the person that's next to me. I can play party games, and I think that's also what the appeal of the Wii was, because it was a console that was meant for the family. And going on to that next point, that was the next console that we got was the Wii. Fucking crazy console, man. I love it.
What are your best memories on the
Oh,
Wii?
best memories on the Wii. Mario Galaxy. Such a good fucking game. Mario Kart Wii. It's basically the Mario games. The Mario games are really good on the
Oh
Wii.
my god. Okay. Mario Kart Wii was like the definition of the Wii for me, honestly, in a lot of ways. It was just such a good Mario Kart game. Like playing with other people and playing online.
To me, it's still like I think in people's
It
minds,
holds up. Like it still holds up.
Yeah, it's still the Mario Kart game. I know that there's Mario Kart 8 and stuff, right? But now, right, people remember I think Mario Kart Wii a lot more than they remember Mario Kart 8. Partly due to the fact that
they
8
made
was on
so
the Wii
many
U, right?
like improvements and additions to it, and there's something about it's just so charming compared. Like Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 haven't given me that feeling.
I agree with you,
Like-
but I think it's also because Mario Kart 8, the tracks are so short. That's another thing. Mario Kart Wii made you feel like you're going on a journey, and it was
and the battle mode too was a lot better
Yes.
on the Wii.
Hey,
I mean,
they
with
fixed the
Deluxe,
battle mode,
they
though.
fixed it, but
Yeah, they fixed it.
You can't undo all the damage, right? I mean, Mario Kart Wii was like 10 out of 10 from the start, out of the box.
Oh yeah.
And plus, I mean, just the amount of character. It was like the biggest Mario Kart yet, right? It's like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I dare say, for Mario Kart, And it's just the tie-ins with their later releases. If I remember correctly, Rosalina wasn't in the game from the get-go.
No, she
right?
wasn't.
She was added
the
later.
Rosalina.
You had to unlock. No, like it was so cool how you could unlock characters in that
Yeah.
game. Because with Rosalina, for example, if you had like a save file from Mario Galaxy, you unlocked her as soon as you open the game.
Yeah, so it's just cool little tiny Easter eggs and shit like that, like made you love the game.
There's still
right?
characters that I still haven't unlocked in Mario Kart Wii, and I still want to unlock them, like Dry Bowser, like Bones Bowser, and Funky Kong, and all these characters.
No, unlocking characters just felt really good in 8, and not in 8 for in Wii.
That's
for
what I'm
some
saying.
reason.
You felt like a level of accomplishment. You're like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next new character. Do you know what I mean? And then
Like it encouraged me to just go into the cups and just do well in them,
of course, man. Like,
because then you unlock all the really cool
and
characters.
it's something about that I feel that it's missing in games nowadays. It's like the level of accomplishment. Like that game, you didn't need to grind too much to get what you needed to get, and I feel that's what Spider-Man PS4 has. You're never that far off the next unlockable. Anyway. But
I think that's one reason why I'm excited for Ultimate. It's because they're bringing back the ability to just like you start from the get go with like 8 characters, and then you unlock characters progressively through different means, and I'm really excited for that. I really like that about Smash.
I just wish that people would, or not people, but like publishers would, bring back just satisfying game unlocks, right? Because in the past it was like, if you put enough time and shit into your save, then you'd be able to get all of the like trophies and shit, like game art and all that. Like these cool little unlocks would reward you for playing, right? Whereas nowadays I feel that a lot of people or publishers they just cop out, right? And it's like, oh, you want some more stuff? Just here, go pay for these loot boxes, right? It's not the same.
But I don't think it's.
Well, I mean,
you don't feel rewarded.
You still have
necessarily.
collectibles apparent in like modern games.
Yeah,
nowadays.
but it's just that
No, but I get what you mean, Kevin. It's like
it's not like the standard anymore.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
But I think it's because of the greed that's currently in the gaming industry. Like a lot of game develop, I understand it's a business; they want to make money. But I feel that they're taking advantage of people that want everything just there. Like you mentioned it yourself. The whole loot box thing is a big topic now. Like there are countries that are like saying they want to get rid of them because it's gambling, right? And effectively, that's what it is. So it's a big topic in gaming, and I feel that the gaming industry in themselves need to go back to what made it good. The attention to detail, really. Like even I don't know, even sometimes you think a game is really shit, but then you see the amount of work that's put into it, you're amazed.
yeah, you
by
can't
it.
really hate
You
it.
can't. like there was a game that I was playing recently, and I know a lot of people in the Sonic community hate this game, but Sonic Heroes, that was another one of those games that
I love Sonic Heroes.
is a great game. It's
I actually really do enjoy it. Like, I mean, it's cheesy.
It's a-
The
it's
story
a-
is cheesy as hell, but it's
a
so
cheesy
fun.
game, but it's so fun, and even the co-op, you know, when you're doing the pinball shit, and the
It was also really broken.
it's broken. Well, most Sega games are broken. Well, no offense, Sega. I'm sorry, but you know, it's those kind of games that you're just like, oh, this is really cool.
To be fair, Yakuza is never broken.
Well, I haven't played Yakuza. So.
Well, I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit, but I mean, Yakuza is one of those games where it's like you can't hate it anyway because it's such a good series.
Well, you know, even then, there's like other series that I really kind of got into. Like I never used to play fighting games on the PS2. Like I know that was a big fucking deal. Like Marvel vs. Capcom, like whoa. But I never used to play fighting games on the PS2. A lot of people that I knew did. The only fighting games. Oh, it's another thing. DBZ, Dragon Ball Z games. Oh my god, on the PS2.
Oh yeah, I've played a little bit of them. I haven't
Dude,
played like
Budokai.
I haven't never
Budokai
ever
2.
owned one myself.
There was this one game that was it was a game that was made for an arcade cabinet. It's called Super Dragon Ball Z, and it's all in Japanese, and they ported it over to the PS2. I think it's only in Europe. I don't know if the US got it, but it was this arcade game. It was so fucking cool. Like you can basically teach other characters certain moves if you collect all the Dragon Balls, and you go to Shenron and you ask Shenron, I want Goku to pass on to Trunks Spirit Ball or Spirit Bomb or what Spirit Bomb. Sorry, I'm not weeb enough. Spirit Bomb, right? It's some cool shit. Like, or you can give Goku a sword. It's like the customization, and it was an arcade game, and Mamma Mia, it's really good. I love it. I spent so much time talking about the PS2, but I really want to know.
I mean, it's a good one. It's a good console.
I really want to know, Joe, with you, what is your childhood games? What were the games that you remember the most? And you know, you mentioned Spider-Man 2, and I really want to get into that, but I want to know the other things before we get into that.
Oh my god. Okay, where do I begin? I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as extravagant as Bish's like past, because my god, I didn't expect it to be so like in depth, but I really appreciate the passion in it. I grew up playing a lot of the Game Boy. Like the Game Boy Advance specifically.
Like everyone.
Well, I didn't.
Well,
I
yeah,
never
but I
played the
mean,
Game
it
Boy.
wasn't like I never like borrowed it from anyone. Like my mom like got me one time. Like I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it's a sunny day. We were in our older house, and then my mom like comes to me and she gives me a Game Boy with a couple of shovelware games. I played the original Game Boy Advance, so I had to deal with the backlight issues a lot. Let me see. I brought all my Game Boy games here just all my Game Boy Advance games just to kind of get an idea of what exactly I played. So I remember starting out with Tarzan Return to the Jungle.
This sounds like a game that had no budget.
I mean, it was actually really fun. I remember it being hard as balls, but like it was really fun.
Why were games back in the? This is something I want to mention. Why were games back in the day so hard?
I don't. Maybe it's just because like they wanted to make it hard. Maybe it's just the game design is just that bad. No.
I mean,
but I also, funny enough, I played a fair amount of Majesco games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played a game called M14 Tomcat.
Never heard of it.
Which I'd be surprised if you did. What else did I play? I'm digging through all of my games. Just give me a minute. And then like later on, I started getting. I think. Oh, I also played The Hobbit. It was like a Hobbit game called. The Hobbit: The Prelude to the Lord of the Rings, which was a game made by Sierra Entertainment.
Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that, because they were the people that made those Crash Bandicoot driving games. You know, the racing games.
Oh, I actually own the racing game. I own Crash Nitro Kart.
I think that was one of the first ones, but there was another one that was Crash Tag Team Racing. I'm not sure if you know about that game.
I haven't played that one.
That Tag Team Racing was basically a game where you can fuse cars together. Like it had a lot of characters in it, and you press triangle and you fuse the cars, and then one person is shooting their weapons in the back, and the other one was driving. So you can.
So it's Double Dash.
It's basically, yes. It's Mario Kart Double Dash. It's that, but it was the PlayStation's answer to Double Dash.
I didn't play many Crash games, but I do remember playing Nitro Kart fondly. It was a lot of fun. It was a game. It was one of those games where I just couldn't stop playing. I just came back to it.
It was a good game
because it was just a solid racing game. What else did I play? I'm thinking. I'm just trying to go through history. I played the Pac-Man collection.
Okay.
From Namco. It was a assortment of Pac-Man games. It came with the original Pac-Man Arrangement, which is a remake of the original Pac-Man. Came with Pac-Mania and Pac Attack. Pac Attack.
God
just
damn,
think
that's
of
a lot.
Tetris mixed with Pac-Man mechanics.
Dude, Tetris.
That's basically what it was.
Did you have Tetris on the Game Boy? Because I know that was I would say one of the reasons that the Game Boy was a success.
I unfortunately I did play the original Tetris, but I unfortunately did not have it on Game Boy at the time.
Damn.
I did, however, have Super Mario Bros. Deluxe that I was able to play on my Game Boy Advance because it was backwards compatible. It was for the Game Boy Color. It was basically a remake of the original Super Mario Bros. That had a bunch of like extra modes and some collectibles, and it was great.
You know what?
I loved it.
You know the interesting thing about the Game Boy Advance? Before I got into this episode, I was doing a lot of research, and the Game Boy Advance is basically a SNES. Am I not mistaken in that? Like that's what people are saying that it was. You know how people are saying, oh, the PS Vita is like having a PS3 or PS2 in your hands, right? People were saying the same with the Game Boy Advance. They were like, this is basically SNES level.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
quality in a handheld.
It's better than SNES though.
It was very nice. I mean, they remade a lot of SNES games and put it on the Game Boy Advance too, or NES and SNES games.
But
it was
there
great.
Was some games that was made specifically. There was this one. I'm not sure. There was this one game cartridge that I think it was like Asteroids or something like that, where it had its Game Boy cartridge, but when you put it into a Super Boy, it also had the game files for the SNES version or the NES version of the game. It was something interesting like that. So,
I didn't end up playing that. Like I played a lot of like obscure games. Like of course I played a lot of Nintendo games, but I mean I'll get to those in a minute. But I do play a lot of like games that you just wouldn't have heard of. Like for example, Rugrats Go Wild by THQ.
Oh my God, THQ's one. R.I.P. THQ, but they're
fucking rip. Yeah,
THQ was like the legend,
right? But Deep Silver bought them out.
They exist as a THQ Nordic.
Yeah, I think so. I think Deep Silver bought them out. But back then, man, THQ and
I loved their games back then.
Those kind of companies, as soon as you saw one of those games, you would know it's either hit or miss. Like a lot of the games that they would publish were just shit. No offense.
I mean, I agree with you, but at the time it was like I just loved playing games by THQ. THQ's the reason we got the SpongeBob game that was really good on PS2, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. That was such a good game.
I know it's such a good game, but
sure?
Just the memes behind it.
It's still a really solid game, like real talk. Like I loved it. But anyway, I'm gonna get the PS2 soon, but and then I played like some more Namco games like Pac-Man Worlds, which was just the first entry in the Pac-Man World series. I played all of the Pac-Man World games. They're very fun. And then I got some more like popular games like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I ended up playing the GBA version when I was younger, and it was just weird because I didn't play the original Kingdom Hearts. So like I was playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. It was a lot of fun, but I never got past. Never got far in it because it was super hard. I stopped at the Destiny Islands, I think, in store side. What else? Oh, one more thing before I go to the mainline titles. Something interesting I got was Game Boy Advance Video. If you've ever heard of that.
Nope. What is that?
Yeah.
It was basically an initiative by Nintendo to like put these like TV show episodes into Game Boy Advance cartridges.
Okay.
So, for example, let me give you an example. I have a copy of. It was prepared by Majesco. I don't want to say developed because it was basically just compressing the video and putting it into a GBA cartridge. SpongeBob SquarePants for Game Boy Advance Video.
Fuck, Joe, what is this?
And then if you boot it up on your Game Boy Advance, you get to watch 2 episodes from the series. It was the one episode with Bubble Bath when he like hides the pickles and he basically convinces SpongeBob that he's a really bad fry cook. And there was another. I think the other one was the pizza episode
Joe,
when they were trying to deliver
quick
pizza.
question: was this exclusive? Like, was it an exclusive thing at the time where it was like, oh, the only way you can watch these episodes is if you buy these cards?
I don't remember. All I remember is the commercial for it when they had a little jingle to it too. It was like what was it? Game Boy Advance video, something like that. And it was great. It was something about it, like it was so charming. And I'm like, you know what, I'll buy it because I loved SpongeBob at the time. Like I don't remember how I got it, but I loved it. But anyway, that's some other games, but I just want to get to the more notable ones for me. Frogger's Journey by Konami. I loved Frogger, and so I played Frogger's Journey. And it was basically like an adventure, like an exploration version of Frogger, where you're going through different areas and trying to get across different obstacles to get to the goal. And it had a bit of a story to it too, which is very cool. It was very intriguing. And then I played games that I'm sure a lot of you know about. I've played Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. It was a remake of Kirby's Adventure. I played the Kirby the Amazing Mirror. I loved those games
was
to death.
like the fucking time to play Kirby, honestly. GBA was the time to play Kirby games.
But yeah, because there were some really good, there's solid titles on the GBA. Like Kirby's Adventure was like very memorable for me. Nightmare in Dreamland was memorable for me because of just how much work they put into it. And Amazing Mirror altered the Kirby formula a little bit for a more open worlds aspect of it, and it was nice. It was a lot of fun. What else? I have Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. I'm not sure why I didn't get 3, but I remember playing 1 and 2 all the time. They're some of my favorite games ever, just because of how unique the Donkey Kong Country series is compared to other games. Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong. What?
Yeah, the original.
What is that?
Like the original. It's basically it was, how do I describe it? Have you played the original Donkey Kong?
I have, yes.
It's it's a similar concept, except you're going through different levels and trying to solve puzzles in order to get a key and unlock the door to the next level. It was each level is divided into 2 segments. You would solve a puzzle to get a key, and then you would do the second half of the level in order to save a mini Mario.
Oh, to save Mario.
So because no, a mini Mario. So the main plot was this. So Donkey Kong is watching TV, and he sees advertisements for mini Marios, which are these toy Marios.
What the fuck? Okay.
I mean, have you ever heard of March?
Amiibos,
Mario vs.
right?
Donkey Kong March of the Minis. No. Have you ever heard of March of the Minis and Mini? I remember what it was called. Miniland Mayhem. So it was.
Yeah, I've only played it on the DS, but I remember.
Yeah, they were only on the DS. Yeah, they were fun. But this is the game that kind of started it all. It started the whole series. So Donkey Kong decides hey, I'm gonna break into the company that's making it. That it's run by Toads, and then they see Donkey Kong break in, oh my god, it's Donkey Kong. He steals the toys, and then Mario realizes this, and he chases down Donkey Kong in order to get all the toys back.
This sounds like such a fever dream. You know.
It's really fun. It was one of those games that it was as close to a crossover game as I got to in the Game Boy Advance era. It was just so addicting. It was one of those games out of all the GBA games I have. It was one of those games I played the most, just because I want to get through each level and beat them. I'd recommend looking it up if you have the chance and maybe giving it a shot. It's a treat. And then of course, Pokemon Emerald.
Can I say something, guys? Pokemon for me isn't really a game that I've played. I played the first one, and then on the Game Boy, and then I just stopped playing it. And then more recently, I'm getting into Sun and Moon, and I'm playing back through the old.
Sun and Moon's a good generation.
It's a good generation. I can't deny. A lot of people don't really like Moon though, but yeah, I'm into Sun. You'll find it's the same fucking game, but for some reason, if you're gonna buy the game new, Moon is half the price of Sun. It's weird. Why? I think it's because Moon is the swap daytime. So if you're playing Moon in the day, it's nighttime. and if you're playing Moon at night, it's day because it runs off.
Oh, I remember that.
It
yeah.
runs off a day cycle, a real life day cycle, which is a bit.
Speaking of those games, though, like I wish they would. What was the little dongle thing that they gave you? The Pokewalker, was that it? The Pokewalker?
Dude, the
I wish they would bring that back. You know.
Back when I was in like middle school, I would wear that all the time.
Wait, what is that?
That was like the revival of. It's like a Pokemon Tamagotchi.
Okay, may I
less.
ask something as well? Isn't it also, when we think about it, Nintendo are still doing that. They done it with the what do you call it? The Pokemon Go Plus and the Pokeball Plus.
No.
Well, let's talk about.
No.
Yes. Is
No.
it not the same?
It is not. It is not the same thing. It is very,
It
very
sounds
different,
like the
dude.
same, Joe. It sounds even this new Pokeball Plus thing for the new.
Considering you just heard about the Pokewalker until now, then like I don't know if you have the right to say
Alright,
anything.
Joe, explain to me what the Pokewalker is.
Okay, so the Pokewalker is basically like this. What would you call it, Kevin? It's like a pedometer.
It was like the OG Fitbit.
Yeah, basically, like you would wear it on your belt, and like sometimes like you could basically put transfer a Pokemon from your Heart Soul Silver game, put it on into the Pokewalker, and then you could take it out and like level it up
Joe,
while
this
you're
sounds
like walking.
like Pokemon Go Plus. This is what it sounds like.
Well, let me finish. And then it also had like, I think it had like 1 or 2 buttons. It had a like little screen on it, and you can like track your Pokemon inside it, and you could like see them do these different activities. I think you could do activities within the Pokewalker in order to level them up, and I think you could also get like unique skills through the Pokewalker as well. And then like once you transfer them back to your main game, then you could see like, oh, they leveled up, and like, oh, they.
They also like pick up items, I think, from time to time.
Yeah, they picked up items. That's what I remember. It wasn't the skills. It was they picked up items. It was just so fun because it gave me a reason to kind of like walk around and do things.
So
It's kind of sad.
it's Pokemon Go before technology arrived.
Pokemon Go.
This is what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like anything revolutionary.
It was revolutionary at the time because before then there was no Pokemon Plus. It was just the Pokewalker.
What if they re-released that?
I would love
But the-
that. Like if they re-released it and then like upgrade it and add a bunch of
It
new
would be
features.
kind of
like, I
pointless
would
though,
love
because
that.
like, why not just have an app for that? you
Well,
know, like,
Pokemon Go. That's what it is.
because like I would legit like burn my phone if I could get a new Pokewalker.
You heard it here first. Nintendo, make it happen so we can get Joe to fuck up his phone.
That tangent aside though, like Emerald was a good part of what I like. This is a good part of. I mean, I got it a little later on. I didn't get it like when it came out. I got it used at a GameStop back when they still sold GBA games, but even then, it was still like very impactful to me. It was the game I played a lot while I was in Egypt, like on vacation. Oh, and finally, the game that defined my entire childhood, Super Mario Bros. 3. AKA my favorite Mario game like ever. It was basically everything you loved about the first Super Mario Bros. Cranked up to like 100. And I love the original Super Mario Bros. So that was like the perfect game for me.
people are still modding it to this day.
Yeah, it's a very like iconic game. Like it has a soft spot in my heart. I'm sure it has a soft spot for everyone. Like everyone else who played it. There's just so many like secrets to discover. Like so many different worlds. Like interesting like level mechanics, power ups, etc. It was fun. It was just like nothing but fun for me. But then now that we got past the Game Boy part, like I know I'm dragging on now, but I really there's just so much I want to talk about because I feel like like a lot of these games just kind of shape the way I am now. And then I got a PS2 around that time. Well, a PS2 and a PSP. Funny enough, I didn't play many PS2 games. Like I ended up playing them later, but I didn't play them at the time. And funny enough, I didn't play those said PS2 games on the PS2. I played them on like I played them like the PSP or the Vita or like if they were remade for other consoles. Like you know what I'm getting at. But I ended up playing like Pac-Man World 2. I'm gonna just talk about the PS2 and the PSP together. I played the PS2 games like Pac-Man World 2, The Adventure of Flying Dutchman. I'm gonna bring it up a third time because God, it was the only game I ever played. I played Hot Shots Tennis. I played Pac-Man Fever, which was god awful. Now that I'm looking back at it, what else? And then like on the PSP, I played a lot of. Oh my god, I can't believe it. No, okay. There's one more game I played, the game that defined the PS2 for me, Spider-Man 2.
Hell yeah!
The OG, the Spider-Man game.
Hey, I'm walking here. Hey.
Oh no, Dr. Connor's class. So caught up that I forgot all about it. He's gonna kill me.
Oh no, my balloon.
My
My balloon. There's references to that in the new Spider-Man game. Like
I heard about that.
you're finding backpacks in Spider-Man PS4, and then he picks up one backpack, and there's a kid that draws him a picture, and he's like, "Oh, I saved this kid's balloon one day, and he thanked me for it."
Oh,
or the pizza song from Oh man.
The pizza song was one of the most memorable things for me, just because I remembered fucking up that mission so much.
Or fucking up the pizza, but I've never delivered a pizza
Yeah,
in
because
that game.
I kept destroying the pizza.
You know why? Because the more rolls that you do, you have to swing so cleanly. You can't
Yeah, you cannot fuck up. You have to be perfect.
look. If there's no pizza side mission in Spider-Man PS4 DLC, I'm gonna be disappointed. But
There better be.
there has to
I
be.
mean, I'd buy that in like a heartbeat.
Dude, but seriously, no, there's stuff about it. It was I understand there was a lot of open world games on the PS2. Like the PS2 was the console that started the whole open world shit.
I'm honestly thinking about like buying the game again because my current copy is just broken now.
Dude,
Doesn't
I
work anymore.
have it. I still play it.
I want to go back and just replay it, like boot up my old PS2 and like just play it.
You know what pisses me off is that that game was interesting in the sense that its PC version is so different. It's like a different game.
There's a PC version?
There's a PC. You've never heard about it. It's actually really shit. A lot of people like Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, but then its PC port was a different game. It had the same name, but it was completely different. Different story, different characters, different game mechanics.
All right, then I
looked
can just
different.
forget about it then.
Yeah, don't bother with it. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, but I think something I remember the most about Spider-Man 2 was one, it was like the web slinging, the wall climbing, because it was just so refined and so fun in that game. And then they also, it was also the quirky tutorial with the guy who would just get so frustrated if you didn't do anything. She's like, go ahead, do it.
It's quite funny though, and you know what else I like about it is that the fact that Tobey Maguire's in the game. Like it's the film cast.
It's his voice lines, yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole film cast is in the game. Like it's pretty cool.
It was a good game. It was like legit like a very like well made game.
I think it was Treyarch that made the game because I think Activision had the license for those Spider-Man games and the Marvel games back in the day. So
I thought it was Activision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Activision, and then obviously Treyarch is one of the developing studios. I think Treyarch and Raven, the people now that making the new Call of Duty game, made the Spider-Man game. So that's how I knew about Treyarch. They basically made the Spider-Man games. So
it's good. I want to replay. And I'm in the mood to replay it now. Like I just want to buy it on Amazon for like a cheap price, if I can find a cheap price anywhere, and just play it again.
It's such a good game. Or just play. I think if you want that nostalgia and shit, Spider-Man PS4. That's what's gonna get you.
You know, maybe I'll buy the PS4 version too because I seen it and it looks so good.
So good.
Just wait for like Black Friday, dude.
No, even then.
I have a PS.
No,
I mean I don't have a PS4, but like my roomie has a PS4, so I can definitely get on it.
Kevin, I'll tell you something. No, not even Black Friday. Get it now. Like, spend the $60 on the game. The game is worth the $60. I don't even say that about games.
Yo, I'm not gonna have time to play through it though. I'm telling you,
Okay.
like I'm already.
You'll have time. 2 hours. You finish the game quick.
Like legit, I haven't bought it now only because I haven't had the money for it. If I had it, I would have bought it like instantly. But like once I get that money, I'm definitely like picking it up. It's one of the first games I'm gonna play.
I'll tell you something, Joe. Even for me, right? I don't buy games as soon as they come out anymore because I'm like, in a couple of months, it's just gonna get so cheap. So why don't I just buy it in a couple of months? Especially
because
if it's a
the thing is, I
single-player
can't
game.
like. Oh, Bish, you know me. I'm not that patient. I can't be that patient.
Spider-Man was the game that I bought straight away because, hell yeah, that game.
It looks so good.
So not just it looks so. I don't want to get into this any more than I need to, but it's such a good fucking game.
But anyway, back to the PS2 topic. So then, well, that's pretty much all I played on the PS2. Really, like I played some Lego games and that was it. Lego Star Wars is my shit.
Bro, yes. I played it on PC. It was like the only PC game I had on disc when I was a kid, and I played the shit out of that because it was like episodes 1, 2, and 3, and it was so much content in a fucking game, dude. Like I still haven't to this day completed it. I haven't gotten all the the canisters, you know, like.
I want to say something to you, Kevin, right? Do you think that's the game that got you into the PC Master Race?
It was my first taste, but it wasn't what.
Damn.
Like I got into, you know, Xbox Live and stuff afterwards, but it was my first taste. You know, because I was playing that shit in my what is it? Fucking Intel Celeron laptop, you know.
Oh my god, Kevin, you almost gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, and I was like, thankfully you could play with KBM, but no, I couldn't get into PC gaming back then because, you know, it's kind of hard to play FPSs with the trackpad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that PS2 is out of the way, I want to talk about PS3 and
Wait.
Oh, you
PS-
said old games,
What's
man.
PSP.
Okay.
It's my bad. I meant to say PSP. It was a slip of the tongue.
Alright, cool. We'll forgive you.
So I think what I mainly played was So funny enough, I also got the Spider-Man 2 movie disc for the PSP.
Same. I think that was bundled in, but it was watching that on the PSP was fucking crazy. I still have the UMD for it. It's just
It played well. Like,
It
it
did.
wasn't like a cheap
no.
condensed version of it.
Well-
It was straight up movie.
well. Bear in mind, Sony owned the film and they owned the disc format, so it was easy for them to show off with it. And I remember that was bundled. I think that was bundled with the PSP.
Oh,
at the time,
it
so-
definitely was bundled. Yeah, I think if I look at my box again, like I still have the box, the PSP box that was packed in. It's like on my shelf. I do remember it being bundled, but it's good because it was a god tier movie. It was amazing. It's also where we got Pizza Time.
A lot of the Raimi Spider-Man films were just so amazing. They were so cringy, but they were so good. Like, I love them. But yeah.
I mean, we don't talk about Spider-Man 3 though.
No, I love Spider-Man 3. Fuck you. It was a great film.
How do you like that? Dude?
It was such a
Friggin-
shit show. It was so fun. Like,
Oh, okay.
even the moment where he does finger guns to the people on the street when he's
You know, that's the thing I'm talking about specifically. It's just when he's so like edgy and he's just
it's
kind of
in
like.
PS4. It's in Spider-Man PS4. You go up to
What?
someone and you press square and he does finger guns, and
That's
I'm
so good.
fucking dying when I saw that. I was like, yes.
Insta purchase.
That's basically what it is, man.
But I think the basically the most. I didn't play many games on my PSP, honestly. Like I didn't really buy many things for it. And,
Patapon?
Huh?
No? Patapon?
No, I legit like it was honestly a waste of money in a lot of ways because I only played 2 games on it.
I think for me, the PSP, I had one and then I sold it. I made quite a lot of money selling it, and then I got it again to mod it.
Well, I mean, even if I wanted to play on my PSP again, it's broken now. I think the battery, it's not just a battery problem. I think it's just shot. Like it just doesn't want to work anymore.
Dude, it's crazy. Like the amount of people that love the PSP just because it's been given new life. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like the fact that these games are given new life and these consoles are given new life because of modding and shit. But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
But I think the 2 games I played specifically were Pac-Man World 3, which I think I played the worst port out of its release, but it was still really fun. It had like a bit of a story to it. You got to play as like Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't think you got to play as Inky and Blinky, but I know you got to play as Pinky and Clyde. And like it was fully voice acted too, so it was really weird. You heard Pac-Man had a voice, and there was a new ghost in that game called Orson. I think his name is Orson. He had a voice too, and like all the ghosts spoke too, and it was so weird, but it was so fun. I loved it. I remember cheating it too, just kind of like putting in cheat codes in order to unlock all the levels. And the other PSP game that I played was Ape Escape on the Loose, which is a remake of the original. Like, I didn't play many games on the PSP to begin with, but like that was a game. It's one of my favorite games of all time because Ape Escape was just such a charming series to me, and it was something that was just very weird, and it kind of introduced me to a more like creative side of video game design with like just the plot, like the absurdity, just the idea of monkeys going through time while being ruled by another monkey that acts human, and also like there's brainwashing involved, and it's kind of weird. And then you go across different periods in time to catch those monkeys with special gadgets and stuff, and it was a great story. Like it was probably one of the best stories I played I went through at the time. It was very engaging. And then you get to the final act where like you're back in the present and like everything's gone to shit and you need to like fix everything. Like everyone's kidnapped and you're basically said like, okay, all these people have been helping you this whole time, been kidnapped, and you have to go save them. And it's so action packed and it's so great. like I love Spike as a character. I love Jake. I love the professor. I love Natalie. Just every character was just great. Inspector was just like quirky. So I also played Ape Escape 2 like a little later on, but that was like when it released on PS4. It didn't do as much for me. I still think Ape Escape 1 is like my favorite Ape Escape so far. That said, though, I've yet to play 3, and I really want to play 3 because I heard that it's really good. But anyway, like I've talked a lot about just these like 3 consoles that I played on, but I think I want to talk about the one that I think I invested the most time into out of them all. Like I invested a lot of time into the Game Boy Advance, but like even then, it does not compare to like the GameCube for me.
All right, how many fucking thousands hours did you fucking spend on Double Dash? Let's be real.
I played I played Double Dash so much that
Actually, wait, no. Do you play more Double Dash or more Smash? More Smash, right?
I play more Melee, yeah. Like I actually do like I actually
Let's
did
be real,
like love playing a lot of Melee.
Melee
at the time.
still like.
It still holds up.
I mean,
it's good.
It's my rose tinted glasses, but like Melee is still the best for me, right? Because there's a reason why you still use GameCube controllers, right? In the competitive scene in Smash, it's because it's Melee. That was just.
I mean, the competitive scene aside, like it's just Smash Melee was just was very revolutionary. It was just a lot of fun with like the different modes you had. You do single player classic, like you could do adventure mode. You could unlock all these different characters in different ways, and like unlocking Mewtwo was like so satisfying back in the day because it's like because you could just brag about it, and I want to be like, oh my god, how did you get Mewtwo? And then you're like, oh, like I don't remember how I unlocked it. I just unlocked it, and then like I would feel really good about it. But that aside, though, like just 2 more notable ones I want to talk about before I like end my GameCube segment is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. That game I am never tired of. I replay that game on like a yearly basis because it is just that good to me. It is that fresh. It is so much fun that even if I'm seeing the same thing over and over again and doing the same thing over and over again, it still remains fun to me. The only downside is that when you 100% it, there's not really much to do afterwards. It's like there's no like real reward to 100%ing the game. You're just kind of like, it's like, okay, I beat the Pit of 100 Trials, I got all the badges, I finished all the recipes. What do I get out of this? Nothing. But other than that, like, it was just such a charming game to me. Finally, Super Mario Strikers, without a doubt. Like, it was one of the first sports games I really played, but like since Hot Shots Tennis. Because it was Mario, which I loved to death at the time, and soccer, which I also enjoyed playing. And like they combined the two and made it so fun with all the items you could use and all the special moves that you could use. And it was just so over the top. And it was the first time we ever saw like any kind of like a level of grittiness in a Mario game. Like if you look at like the key art, it is like insane how how the aesthetic they went for with the game is just phenomenal. And just so like dark and interesting because you see all these characters that are angry, and then they have this very interesting type of style if you like look it up, where they like it looks like it reminds me of graffiti art in a lot of ways just because of how they're drawn. But yeah, like there are a lot of other games that just defined like basically I'm pretty much done here, but I just want to say like all these different consoles like had so many games for me to play, and like especially like the GameCube or the GBA, and then like later like it defined how I played like later games as well. Like I like with the Wii, the DS, like as like time went on, I just played like these like older games introduced me to more and more games, and like it kind of brought me to this point where I'm just playing just about anything. So like I'm really grateful.
Shit, damn, that was a lot, man. Holy crap.
Hell yeah, man.
I think because I didn't want to dumb it down. Like, I mean, I've kind of already dumbed it down. There's just so much I needed to talk about.
I'll be honest with you. With this kind of episode, it feels like we're doing ourselves an injustice not to dumb it down. Do you see what I mean? Like, if we were to just water down the content, and it's kind of nostalgic.
It wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah. No.
These are the games that we played as kids, right? So
yeah, exactly. These are the games that we played. We have a lot of emotional attachment to it, and I really want to know for you guys. Talk to us on our Discord page. Talk to us on Twitter at Get Life Podcast, and tell us what were your childhood games. What were the games that made you feel nostalgic or you had very fond memories of? What was your favorite console? Talk to us and more. The links will be in the description of this episode, whether you are watching on iTunes, Stitcher, or now on YouTube. You can leave us a comment and I'll answer the fucking comments. Yeah, and that's the whole thing that we're trying to do with these impromptu discussions, is to kind of get you guys more involved in it, and we want to hear your opinion. So please tell us either in our Discord page, Twitter, or interact with us in the reviews and in the comments of this video on YouTube or on the podcast version of it. You guys want to plug your Twitters and
On Twitter, I'm at Tolvray, TOLVRAIE.
And I am at Kibo Gamer, spelled KIBOUGAMER.
So, yeah, big thanks to our sponsors for this episode, Crunchyroll and, of course, Loot Crate. So, check them out if you want to support us.
Actually, fun fact, Joe mentioned Metal Gear Solid, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I think that this month's Loot Gaming Crate is actually MGS themed. So...
It's MGS themed? What?
I think so. I saw it on Facebook anyways, like Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, I'm looking at this after we finish
So,
the episode.
If you guys are listening to this in, September, alright, jump on that shit before it goes away.
And you can use the code, either code Kunai or code Get a Life for 10% off if you want that. Just saying. It works. It works on Loot Gaming, works on Loot Anime, and it works on all the Loot Crates. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode.
And thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, see you guys.
See ya.
Stay sexy.
Ah, damn it, Joe.
Oh my god. Bruh.
I'm gonna buy Bish Google Fiber someday, just so he doesn't have to deal with this shit ever again.
Meme review. Okay. I want to know how you guys got into gaming. What was your first console? How did you stumble across it? Were you guys always
I thought we were
gamers?
starting with what we played recently.
Good point, Joe. Okay.
You're the one who brought it up too.
Okay. Bloopers. This is bloopers material. Don't worry about it. And
Yeah, Kevin's a real stud.
he's hell yeah. All right. No,
I'm holding out for that DVD release.
that VHS. So I'm waiting for that.
I'll make sure to send you a copy.
That's it. Oh,
That
Joe.
floppy disk release,
What the fuck? I don't think even kids know what floppy disks are. By the way,
It's a save icon. It's like a 3D printed
sorry.
save icon. Of course, I know what it is, man.
It's the 3D save icon. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.